Today I wanted to do a quick review of my daily backpack that I use all the time to and from work 5 days a week. This is the Red Oxx C-Ruck carry-on rucksack. And I love the Red Oxx gear. It's all overbuilt. It's not super light. That is not its intention. It is super tough. And I have had this now for at least 4 years, and it might have been a little bit longer than that. It's gotten daily use, and it is still going strong. A little bit about the specs you can check on Red Oxx's website, but it's got dimensions of 18 inches long by 12 inches wide by 7 inches high. So I would guess that would be the depth. It is overbuilt, like I said. I've got it loaded with some stuff that I wouldn't normally carry, but I wanted to give you guys an idea of the size of it with some common items. The fabric is Cordura nylon, and they claim a 1,000 weight, which I don't know if that's exactly the same as denier or not. And then it mentions that the interior lining is a 400 weight denier, so I'm guessing that is denier that they're talking about with 1,000. But it has been in and out of my car a lot. It's been slung over my back. It's carried a lot of different stuff. I've taken it on car camping trips when I need another bag in the car to carry some additional stuff, as well as family trips. If I was actually going on a backpacking trip, I would not carry this bag. I would take something a little more designed for that, which would be a little lighter weight with a frame. This does not have any type of frame. But when I first got it, I wasn't sure about the rucksack design, but I have come to love it. One of the reasons, I've got it kind of propped up on my trifold shave kit. We'll get that out of the way. One of the reasons that I really like it is I started using something, taking it to and from school to carry my papers. And so every day I can open it up with the drawstrings and I can take out this huge container that holds my papers. I've got it loaded with a clipboard in the back, so it's not usually quite that full, which is why it took a little longer to get out. But this is a hanging file system. And I can have my papers in here. They stay separated, even sideways, turned sideways. They stay organized and where they need to be. So when I have that taken out, you can see the red lining inside. My lighting is not the best here, but it makes it nice and easy to see if there's anything down in there. It's also got kind of a laptop compartment that is padded on the back. I just had my clipboard thrown in there, which I will sometimes take, but not every day. With that out, my container that I took out of there first slides in nice and easy, in and out. So it's kind of a cavernous, big, deep pocket that you can fit a lot of stuff in. It's got the drawstrings. It took me a few minutes when I first got it to kind of figure out that you just hold this and then you just slide it forward, and then to get it back you just pull. There's a little thing here that you can just pull. Actually, you don't have to pull on that. Oh yeah, it does lock. And so you just kind of pull that down and then you can just slide it up to lock. So again, to loosen it, that's what took me a second to figure out. Now I do it so naturally I don't even think about it. You just pull down with your thumb a little bit, pulling away from the bag, and it slides right open. I wanted to show you this. One thing I like about the Red Oxx bags, they're not sleek like some of the other bags, but on some of my other bags, they have interior pockets and it takes up the interior space, whereas this C-Ruck has exterior pockets that will not consume any of your interior space. What I mean by that is I can have that big bin in here, and having something loaded in this outside pocket does not consume any of the interior space there. So I was trying to think of something a common size, so I grabbed some Xbox games of my kids, and I had half a dozen Xbox games shoved in that exterior pocket, and it was not a tight fit at all. I can zip it up. It does have self-locking zippers, so it takes a little more effort to unzip them, but it still had additional space in there. So size reference, if you know what an Xbox game size is or a movie, it would be about the size of that to fill up that outside pocket. Then it has two more exterior pockets that I love. One of them I left my large Clean Canteen water bottles at work, so I didn't have them at home for this review. So trying to think of something else that was a standard size, I grabbed my Moose Jaw Nalgene bottle, and you can put it in there and there is still a lot of space left over. You can see that goes nowhere near the top of this pocket. And I also have a ton of extra space on the sides to wiggle around there. So a Nalgene will easily fit inside that exterior pocket. It has lash points on the outside, which I don't typically use, but I will place a large carabiner on there so that I could lash something to it if I wanted to or needed to. I usually just leave them on there, but for this review I wanted to have it just the standard bag. The other pocket, I don't currently have anything inside of it, but it's got an identical pocket on the other side. These pockets are interior pockets, so if you're going to put something in on that side, that is going to compete for space with that large outside pocket. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a pocket that will consume interior space, but you could easily fit small things down in there. On the top of the flap, there is another pocket that, because it's part of the flap, it's not going to consume any of your space anywhere else, but you can see you can fit flatter objects in there. It has a nice, pretty simple flat. It's not padded at all, but I've never needed it to be. This backpack's never been so heavy. I've had it heavy, and I can certainly overload it with heavy stuff. I've carried books in this thing for short distances to and from work, and it can be full of books and it can be quite heavy, but this isn't going anywhere. There's no fraying, there's no wear on that. It's got these large circular rings, and Red Oxx claims, and to my experience, it has worked. It can pivot to accommodate wider frames or more narrow frames, and so it's pretty bulletproof. They're solid metal. They're welded together. I can see the weld right there on this one, and so they're not going to go anywhere. I'll probably tuck that away to make it look prettier. The straps are no nonsense. They've got kind of a
suede feel.
It's a soft fabric, and it does have a sternum strap, which this looks like I have it set pretty low, but when I actually put the backpack on, that sternum strap holds it nicely where it belongs. I could adjust it down because it's got multiple points. I could adjust it up one more spot to go there, or I could go down with it quite a bit. The adjustments on here are easy when you want to tighten it up. Let me see, with it not on, it's a little counterintuitive for me. That tightens it, you just pull it down, and then when you want to loosen it, you pull up on this when you're wearing it, and it will loosen it right up. It's a little easier to do when you're actually wearing the bag than kind of trying to pull on this, because it would have weight on it. So that's where I like them. It does have on the bottom, which I usually just keep cinched up, so you have kind of a loop there. You can loosen these up, and you could lash something on to the bottom and have a loop there. So I've done that with a mat before, so if I wanted to go somewhere. And I think that's most of the bag. It's just a bulletproof bag. It is not a light bag, but it is super durable. They say it is not waterproof on their website, but the Cordura nylon is treated, I believe, and it is treated with, what do they say? Urethane coated DuPont certified Cordura. So it is treated. I've had it out in a light rain and it'll get wet, but it doesn't soak through immediately. But if I were out in a heavy rain, I would not want this bag for a long time because it's gonna eventually probably soak up some of that liquid. Again, cavernous interior, bulletproof construction. Everything is overbuilt, which I love. If I'm not worried about weight, I love the durability of it. So overall, I am a huge fan of Red Oxx. Oh, one other thing that I meant to show you before I end, almost forgot. I'm going to put my papers back in, and without that clipboard in there, it's a tight fit, but it does fit. And that has extra space in it. But let's say I also wanted to take my tri-fold shave kit from Red Oxx, put that in there, and I'm getting to the top of the bag. I don't have a lot of space left over, but I also wanted to put my Nomad shave kit in there. Then I'm going to be out of space. The nice thing is it has the ability to expand up. It usually just tucks down. It's got another drawstring here. So I can put my Nomad shave kit in there. So it's a bit expandable. I can cinch this down. And I am now not above the entire bag. I can then loosen my straps here. I can tighten this one up as well. Tuck it in a little bit. And then I can loosen these straps. I've done this before when I've needed to bring extra things home from work. But I can cinch it down a little bit. And so you've got extra capacity and it will keep your stuff clean and secure for the most part. And so it expands out to a taller size. So my Red Oxx C-Ruck, I love it. I love all of my Red Oxx gear. I'm a huge fan. I can't stop myself from buying more when they come out with great items that I want. And hope you found that helpful.